It's just gone lunchtime. This is the third and final hour of All Angles right here on eNCA. Good afternoon to you all. I'm Aviwe Madzena. And this is the stories that we are tracking throughout the course of the day. Let's give you an idea of how far these stories have developed so far. We've got reporters on the ground getting those updates. Let's get straight into it. Let's start with Moloto, who is joining us on that story around the school year beginning and it being marred with some issues. What do you have in terms of an update where you are in Diepsloot, Moloto, this hour?
Hello, Rafiwa. Well, I followed the Basic Education Minister, Mtila. She started off at a primary school in Cosmo City, just outside Johannesburg. And there she was actually told that the school only has a capacity, I think, of accommodating 1,400 pupils. It's a primary school, but as matters stand, it's got over 2,000 pupils. And the school principal told us that for the grade 1 class, she actually received about 700 applications, and she only had the capacity to accept or to enroll about 170 or so, but she was compelled to enroll over 200. The minister promised then that she will try to get everybody else who is involved so that that school can get, or that area can get, an additional school. She then moved over to the neighboring Diepsloot, and she started off at Diepsloot Secondary School number 2, that's how they call it. The school got 99% last year in terms of the matric pass rate. And what is astonishing is that the school doesn't have, the brick and mortar buildings. The pupils are attending inside the mobile containers. The situation is the same in the neighboring Sunrise Secondary School. I think it's just about 50 meters, I beg pardon, away, those two secondary schools. And this is where we are, Sunrise Secondary School. It also got 99% matric pass rate last year. They are also expecting to continue to do that well this year. They are also attending inside the mobile containers. But let us speak to the school principal of Sunrise Secondary School. Her name is Nozipho Adage, Dr. Nozipho. Ma'am, thank you so much for your time. Just how do you get it right? I mean, in an area where there's gangsterism, there's crime, these children are coming from that environment. How do you get it right?
Well, we work very hard as a school, together with our SMT and our teachers, to make sure that we keep learners all the time at school. Let me give an example. The grade 12s, we already this year we have started on the 4th to attend school. They started on the 4th, and that is just to lay the ground and give them all the necessary textbooks and stationaries, and to start early, because we are expected actually to complete the syllabus for grade 12 in around May the 31st. So that is how we normally operate. I mean, in the many years that we have administered grade 12, we've been using the same system. So we start earlier than before. But otherwise, apart from that, we have systems that we are using at school. Apart from the fact that our learners are attending from 6:30 to 5 o'clock, they also come for Saturday classes and holiday classes as well. We also have what we call evening classes. We keep our learners at school. We have as well what we call sleepover camps. So our learners are forever engaged in classes or in teaching or learning as well. So they really do not have time to expose themselves to this gangsterism and all these other challenges that are affecting Diepsloot.
These are young stars that you are dealing with. Are you not getting any resistance, as you implement all those interventions? Are they all happy to subject themselves to that type of discipline?
Yes, they actually see it as a blessing because, look, when they're at home, they will not be given this chance to study until this late. So we don't really get resistance from them. Instead, we get cooperation. And I have to thank our parents of these learners that are coming from our community in Deep Sloot that are working very well closely with us. So we're not getting any resistance at all. Instead, we're getting support from parents, we're getting support from our SDP members, and our teachers, again, are working around the clock to make sure that learners are disciplined. We have systems to make sure that they are disciplined.
Finally, then, I'm not too sure if it's conducive for you to be doing all that good work inside the mobile containers. I'm not too sure now. It's hot. I wonder if when it's hot, they also become hot, and if it's cold, they are also chilly. Is there any commitment in your interaction with the minister now? Is there any commitment to build brick and mortar classes for you guys?
There is actually a commitment from the minister. I'm sure we must have all had her today when she indicated that really we need brick and mortar classrooms. We remain hopeful. The Department of Education has been supporting us so much. There are people that do not have even mobile classes, but we have a lot. So we are utilizing what we have, and we don't let that one to be an impediment. Yes, it is hot, and I think our learners they can adjust in this heat. They are able to understand that we don't have brick and mortar classrooms at this moment. But we can't stop teaching. Learners cannot stop learning because we're waiting for brick and mortar classrooms. No, but we utilize what we have. So, and we don't let this one to discourage us. We continue, and seriously, we've been having a lot of support from the Department of Education. When we need furnitures, they support, and when we need extra mobiles, they give. So we are still grateful.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nozibo Adage. She is the principal of Sunrise Secondary School. And Rafiwa, if you know the area of Deep Sloot, you will understand that there are no recreational facilities. And the fact that there is this beautiful story coming out of this area, I'm sure these teachers, the pupils and the parents of these pupils surely deserve some applause.
Absolutely, Moloko, Moloto. It's not all doom and gloom in South Africa as we usually report on a daily basis. I'm going to take it to Aviwe Mtila, who is also covering the first day of the academic year. Parents still feeling very frustrated, Aviwe Mtila, because of the admissions process that has set many of them back. What is your update at 1 o'clock this hour?
Colin, I'm back at the snaking queues at the Ekurhuleni North District offices where I'm seeing familiar faces. Remember that I left last evening at around 6 p.m. where a lot of the parents weren't assisted by the Department of Education here. They back here, many of them that I'm seeing again. Of course, it is day one. Learners are supposed to be at school, a lot of them not at school. Their biggest headache, colleague, is around the online application system that is unique to Gauteng. That's especially for grade 1 and grade 8. They paint a myriad of issues with the online application system. For one, some of them applied timelessly, but they still yet to hear from the system itself in terms of those messages that were supposed to give them a directive on what happened next. Others applied to schools that are in their vicinity, yet they were given schools that are way above their vicinity. They can't afford things like transport, or either their children are given schools that don't correlate with the languages that they're supposed to be giving. In fact, my colleague Tam is just going to show you the queue here while we're now speaking to some of those parents, trying to understand what the situation is on the ground. Siswam, thank you for joining us at eNCA. I was speaking to you yesterday, and I see you are back here. Clearly, you haven't been assisted. What's the issue?
At this point, I don't think there's a point of playing blame game, because I did apply online on the 19th of August. And it's unfortunate that my son was placed at the school further than my destination. At this point, I'm just here to fix the errors, because even yesterday we were fighting and going back and forth. Today I'm just hopeful for positive results, and that we just work together with the Department of Education in just placing our children at school, because they're very frustrated as it's the first day and their peers are starting school, and you can see it in their eyes that they're very stressed as to why are they still at home. And at this point, as I stated, I just need a placement for my son, and I have no fights left in me anymore, and I'm not blaming anyone. Let the system just do right, and now the huge factor is load shedding. Hopefully we'll just get through that, and our kids will just get proper placement, and we'll just get over and done with.
Has anyone come out and actually spoke to you in the course of today? I see it's after 1 now. And what are they saying from yesterday?
So far, we haven't got any promises, because from now the only address we got was we've been told about a certain procedure they take, which is to place the kids under a waiting list for 10 days. And within those 10 days, we still have to wait for a reply. So for now, I'm not very hopeful of what is going on. Till we will get attended, maybe we'll get the right outcome as to what is going to happen with the kids.
All right, thank you so much. I wish the best, and I wish that your child gets placed. As you heard, colleague, she actually applied online on the 19th of August last year. It's that issue of the placement again. We understand there are around 4,000 plus appeals from the parents, and the promise was from the MEC yesterday that they'll deal with each and every one of those appeals. Let me get a word with this mother. Mama, thank you for joining us at eNCA. U-aplayile wena mama online, ngiyakubona ulapha kwenzeka ntoni ma?
Ben-aplayelwe esikolweni last year, so kwalahleka ifoni andakwazi ukuthi ndifumane imessage. Ndaya ndayosubmit izinto kwathiwa sekuvaliwe.
So she applied online, school helping her, and the phone got lost, colleague, and couldn't receive the reply from the system itself, but went on last year to go and inquire what is happening with the application from the school. Was told that the system is closed. Uyawabuya kulonyaka ke ngumama kwenzeka ntoni njebulapha kwakhona?
Bathi andiphumi kwikhompyutha mandize apha kwi-department. And ndihleli oko ndihleli from ekuseni andifumani ncedo. Umntana uhlela akayi esikolweni.
Okay, colleague, from school, she was told to come here this year as the district opens. She hasn't received any assistance this year. That will talk then of the viability and, the use of the online system. Is it actually working? Given that this lady did apply online, the school helped her to apply, but she lost her phone. You understand these technological gadgets being lost. But she did go on to inquire with the school, was told to come to the district itself. She's been waiting, just one of the hundreds of parents that you can still see outside here. I just lost your line now, colleague. I'm hoping you can still hear me there, but back to you in studio.
Thank you very much. That is Aviwe Mtila joining us there. Let's move over to Heidi Giokos, who is following a different leg of this particular story, the academic year getting underway today. Heidi, what is yours in terms of the latest update? You were focusing on the infrastructure issues at a particular school and the dangers that persist there.
Rupiwa, I unfortunately cannot hear you, but what I can tell you is that the situation is a lot calmer here in Pimville, Soweto, and this is because parents have decided to agree with the meeting with the EFF together with the SGB and the principal of the school to try and find a way forward. What's interesting, though, is that we have been told that the Department of Infrastructure and Development is here, and they've indicated that they are unable to provide the mobile classrooms and mobile ablution facilities because the soil apparently is not strong enough to hold up those mobile classrooms, and there isn't any space anywhere else but the sports field to place those mobile classrooms. The district office from the Department of Education is not present in this meeting, so it's going to be interesting to see how they come to any kind of solution, because at the end of the day it's also the Department of Education together with the Department of Infrastructure, parents and SGB who need to come up with a solution, because today a day of teaching and learning has been missed. What will tomorrow bring and what will the rest of the week bring, as well as next week? There was a lot of chaos earlier on today when the EFF decided to arrive here and meet with the SGB and the principal of the school, and the parents rejected this, saying that the meeting should be held with the parents because they are the ones that have their children attending the school, and they feel as though they should be in that meeting asking the questions and getting the answers. They had then asked the EFF to leave the school because they felt as though they were politicizing the matter, and they did not want that to be the case, because at the end of the day you have children who need to be taught and need to be attending school to the first day of the academic year, and that was overshadowed by a lot of chaos and a lot of anger and frustration. I want us to perhaps just look back at some of that commotion that played out earlier today.
There's a reporters Moloko, Moloto, Heidi Giokos and Aviwe Mtila covering the first day of the academic year, some of the challenges and some of the wins, as Moloko, Moloto did report on this hour.